Wang here. Just wanted to make a little quick video of the boat again, since that last time I'd made one, I think it was like 2 years ago. And the boat now is pretty much completed. So this will be the way it sits for the rest of its lifetime. And let's go to the front and I'll work my way back. So see if I can get on this side. As many of you guys know, this is the Salt Boatworks FRS15. I built this out of my garage. For those of you who just found my channel or whatever, and it took 8 months to build, probably 600 hours ish, probably more. Most of it was just kind of figuring out where things go and how things go together, because this is actually my first boat that I've ever owned and first boat ever built. So this is it, guys. And I don't know, man, let's just go on the bottom. The bottom, you know, the reverse chines. I got a keel guard down there, so I'm not afraid to get it on top of these rocks. Pettit Easy Epoxy 1-part polyurethane paint, ice blue. I think it's 3 coats on the bottom and 2 on top. And that's Salt Boatworks, built and not built, not bought. So yes, that's what it really means. This boat was built and not bought from a manufacturer. The usual Minn Kota Terova Riptide iPilot, 54-inch shaft, 12 volts, 55 pounds, and it'll knock you off of your feet if you don't you know, watch if you don't watch it, for reals. I've seen another person do it. Who was it? Clayton with his FRS15, but he has with the motor guide, and we watched him almost fall off of his boat because it swung the front over to the side. So you know, 55 pounds is good for this boat. Actually, you know, it's actually really powerful. So let's see here. I will start just from whatever I see right now. I guess it'll make it a lot easier. This is Taco Marine rub rails, just in black, and then C-deck with, I forgot what that texture is called. These are just Amazon brand hinges. They're stainless steel and I don't see any rust on it, so hey, that's good. All the hardware, everything on here is bought off of Amazon. Front hatch, pneumatic whatever they're called, I can't think of it right now. Fuel tank sits in the front, 6 gallons. Just, you know, a little bit more space here and there. The hatches do drain. They come down and out to one of the shoot, let me see if I can get to it. I don't know if you can see it, but the drain for the hatch goes here, comes down and out into the top rod holder, and it drains out where the rod holder is. I had it in the center, which you can see that connection right there, but I had all these hoses and everything, and it took up a lot of space, so I took it off and then ran it to the rod holders, which worked out great. That's a 60 amp breaker for the trolling motor, and that's about it. This is just mostly storage for whatever, for a second person. And I did put a gasket around the hatch so that it doesn't vibrate and mess up the paint, and also it makes it quieter. The flooring, the brown flooring, is from Amazon. Speakers are just your cheapo Boss brand. Yeah. And I don't know why I did it, but I went with gray deck padding for the side where the fishing rods can, you know, hug up against. I guess I could have went with brown too, but oh well, it's in there. You really don't pay attention to it much anyways. And each side has 3 rod holders. That hole used to be a charge plug. I'm gonna fill it with probably USB plugs for a passenger. Those are Engel latches or hooks, whatever you want to call it, for my 65 quart Engel cooler for the passenger. Also, I don't have it today because I'm out, you know, just running the boat by myself today to finish up breaking in the engine. The grab rail is held down by 6 bolts. In the floor there are brass inserts, threaded inserts, so those go in there and hold it down. If I ever need to take them out, they just come off real easily. But that's just for some reason, I don't know, running wires or whatever, if I ever have to. And all my electronics controls go down there and to the back. Light switches and all of that are over there. Eventually I want to move them up here if there's space in the PVC pipe that I did for running the wires. But in the plans, you got your gunnel knee, what do they call it, knee guards or whatever. It goes to the very front of the bulkhead and goes to the very back of the bulkhead. I went ahead and cut them short and then made it fully go all the way around 360 degrees of this boat cockpit, so that, you know, when water comes down, it just flows over those without dripping down the bulkhead, you know. And, you know, whatever you have near the bulkhead, it won't get wet or whatever. Same, you know, for the switches. And then I'm gonna go around. Now I'm on the other side. Got my Lowrance Elite TI. This is the first generation. Still works just fine. Side scan, whatnot. NEMA 2000. That's hooked up to the Outboard so that I know what it's doing. You know, tachometer, fuel, hours on the engine, voltage, and water temps, everything. That's hooked up with the SMIS connector. I do have a video about it, and I don't know, I think it's on my Instagram. And it works for the, you know, I think 9.9s and up, and the newer versions. They have a data port and it connects to that. That data port's for whenever the dealer needs to diagnose the engine for trouble or whatever. But you connect that connector to the NEMA 2000 network and then to the Lowrance, and you can pull up data from there. And the engine has to be on for the Lowrance to read it. So these are the Linko trim tabs, switch panel. This is the Linko trim tabs switch panel. This is the on and off switch for it. That turns it off, or pretty much it turns it on standby. It's like if you turn off your ignition, the trim tabs go up automatically. when I turn it back on, they kind of reset, and then you can just bring them down. This is my jack plate switch, up, down. That switch is for the trim, power trim. Is that a gar? That's a big old gar. Okay, so this is for the outboard, trim it up and down. So when I'm running it, I can trim it, and I can trim the jack plate up and down at the same time without having to go to the back. Well, as far as the engine trim, it's right there, and when you're standing way up here, you have to sit down to grab that. So I made a harness to go up to the tiller extender to so I can have the button right there. Yeah, and this tiller extender is from J Red. He's on Instagram. If you just look up J Red, he's on there. That's my amp to listen to some jams. It's Bluetooth, so I don't have any controllers or anything for it, which is nice. It's hidden away. This is all storage. 60 amp lithium battery from Outdoors that powers everything except the outboard. The outboard is powered by an AGM motorcycle battery that sits back here, that's tucked way up underneath there. Recently I cut a hole in the floor and made a little channel. Let's see if I can get to it. Right there. That channel right there goes to the back into the bilge. So now this area is completely dry, so I can put whatever I want in here without worrying about it getting wet from the previous way I had it, which was drains on the side. They're plugged up. There's one on the other side also, and it drains back, and there was a hole in the back where this, I don't know what you call it, another bulkhead. There's a hole that goes that way so water can drain inwards, but it really didn't work out because when the boat's on the side, the water tends to stay on the corners. So I got rid of all of that, and now the water drains into the center and out straight to the bilge. And there's a hole here and back over there hooked up to PVC, and there's like 90s that go through past the bulkhead, and water just drains into the bilge. Eventually I will completely cover up this this transom area, or I'm sorry, the bilge area, and maybe cut a hole here just like other skiffs do. This is a lot easier to access the bilge area if you need to. So the polling platform was from a Hells Bay Professional, I believe. Got it used from a guy in Rockport. Got a good deal off of it, so I went ahead and drove down there and got it. And it's great to have sight casting and all of that. It's a bit tall for this boat, but hey man, it's a lot. $200 is a lot cheaper than $1,000 for a custom built one. So these are the Lenco trim tabs. That's the Lowrance side scan, first generation side scan transducer. Lenco trim tabs are all the way down right now. Let's see if I can click the button and record this at the same time. I'm hitting this button to turn it off. Automatically come up. So when you're done with the day, or you go to your spot, you don't want them down, just pull them up with a button. And lastly is the outboard. A lot of you guys remember I was running a 20 horsepower, and while it worked solo, it sucked for having two people fully loaded with fishing gear. So I opted out to get this 30, and the weight difference is, you know, about 40 pounds or something like that, which is not too bad. Trim tabs make up the difference. So today I ran it, I got a max of 28 miles per hour. It gets pretty decent gas mileage, I must say. So if you build a FRS15, definitely go with the 30 if you can. If you do go solo a lot, go with the 20 because it runs just fine. I think it maxes out at 23 miles per hour on this. My configuration by myself with the 20 horsepower was 23.5 max miles per hour. On the 30, I was getting, today I got 28 miles per hour, which I had not seen that ever. And it has actually just got broken in at 10 hours. So is it because of that? Probably not. Maybe just the condition today. With two people loaded, while I'm running with a little bit of, you know, loaded gear, it'll run 25, 26 miles per hour all day long, wind or no wind. Oh man, that's a big old gar. So with the 20 horsepower, actually, let me go back to the 30. The 30 horsepower with two people in full gear, I'm still getting 25 miles per hour. Like, if it's windy or not, which is great. On a 20 horsepower, I'm getting between 16 to 18 with two people in gear. Same gear, just the only difference is the two outboards. So with a 20, I was getting 16 to 18 miles per hour depending on the condition. If it's windy, you're looking 15, 16 miles per hour. Solo, 23.5, light gear. So think about it. You know, if you're looking into building one of these, it's if you think you're gonna go with somebody, most of the time, get a 30. If you think, you know, you're going solo most of the time, get the 20. And the reason why is the 20 you'll gain a lot better fuel mileage, because it actually doesn't burn that much fuel at all. I think we went over 30 miles and used probably like 2.5 gallons. On this one, on a 30, we used around 3 gallons out of 6 at around 35 miles of runtime. So you know, give or take a little bit, depending on conditions. So that's something really to consider about if you're gonna go with 30 or 20. They both work well. And the Atlas jack plate, it's not really a must-have, but if you fish in super shallow areas like we do here in Texas, you know, you don't have to go into the shallow areas, but I have it just in case. You know, you could just adjust the outboard up and down depending on how much load you have, and it actually works really well, lowering and raising the outboard depending on the load. And on top of that, trim with the outboard trim also. So it takes a little, every boat's different, so you got to get used to how your setup is. And it took me a while, but then I've kind of figured out where it needs to be, and we're hitting that 25 miles per hour up to 28, so which is great. I'm running it on the stock prop too. It's a 10 1/4 by 12 pitch. That sucker is beat up. The last time we went out to close, I think Port O'Connor area and Port Aransas, and we were hitting ground like crazy because the water was murky and we couldn't really see much. But hey, at least I know how much it can handle. So but yeah, that's pretty much the walkthrough of the whole setup. I doubt I'll be doing any more changes to the boat because it is where I like it to be. And yeah, it'll be nice to shave a little bit of weight, but you know, you gain some and you lose some on the things you put on your boat. So anyways, you guys, I hope that clears everything up on or not clear, but I hope you guys enjoy the video, and hope this helped you guys out on any of you who are looking to build a FRS15 from Salt Boatworks. And yeah, man, it's a sweet boat. I call it the Swift Army Knife boat because it goes everywhere. And we've taken this thing out to the flats here at the lakes and out to the jetties, which is pretty dang, you know, claustrophobic, but it freaking works, man. Oh, lastly, draft. I mean, the way it sits without me in it, it's probably like just 2 plans, which is 6.5. So, which is, you know, for a boat like this with a little bit of what do they call it? A little bit less if you have less stuff than I do on here. It's pretty good. It's not going to draft super shallow because it's not flat bottom, which is another great thing about the boat. It's not flat bottom, so it rides really well in you know, a little bit of chop. So something to think about when you guys build it. I mean, something to think about whenever you guys decide on wanting to build one of these. It takes chop really well. It's dry because I extended the shear. You know, shear only comes out to about probably right here per plans, but I added about 3 inches, 2.5 or 3 inches all the way around except the transom, and that right there keeps water flowing outwards. I wish I would have made it where it came down so water will be diverted down, but it works. We get a little wet, but it's fine on windy days. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See y'all next time. Last but not least, I forgot the trailer. This is a McLean. Dude, I forgot what the size was. 16 something or 18. I forgot. I don't think they sell these anymore. They were selling these at a Academy. I went and picked this up at Tomball, Texas, because we did have one in stock in Bastrop, but I waited too long, so I had to make a drive all the way to Tomball near Houston. So, but it was worth it. Yeah, I wish I had money to fork out for a aluminum, you know, like a coastline trailer or even a McLean trailer, but man, they're expensive. So I'm gonna roll with this for a while until, you know, sometime later on down the road I want to change out the trailer. But it seems to work fine for now. It's made for John boats up to 16 feet, I believe. I think the whole trailer is 18 feet, and I bought the Fulton what do you call it, hinge trailer breakaway hinge, whatever, or folding hinge. I bought it when they were available. I heard it's hard to get now, but I installed that. The front of, or the garage door sits probably about a foot from the front of this hinge once it's folded up in the garage. It's all galvanized. I added the spare tire. It didn't come with one. I added the bow roller. I added that light. I haven't even connected it yet for 2 years. I added the what do you call those again? Damn it. I added the guidepost. I had the carpeted bunks before, or whatever, the carpeted guides, I mean. Those things suck. Every time I hit it, they would bend. This stuff right here, it freaking works, and it guides the boat in really well. I should have spent the money on, well, you know, I kind of wanted the other one because it was more low profile, but these work really well because I can see the top of the post from my car when I'm driving. I need to put some reflectors on there so I can see it at night. Of course I can see the pulling platform, but you know, if you're just looking into your mirror, you really can't see the trailer because it's only 54 inches wide between the frames, and I think 8 inches on each side with the wheel. So if anybody's looking for trailers, 54 frame will work, and whatever else the axle and the tires and wheels work out. This fender, what didn't come with it, came with galvanized fenders also. They're freaking huge. I wanted these so I can step on it and get in the boat. It's a lot easier. I lowered all the bunks. I lowered it as far as I can go. I wish I could go lower, but you know, it is what it is. The axle, I flipped it to the top of the springs so that the trailer will lower a little bit even more. I was hoping to do that so that it won't take much to get into the water, but I still have to dunk it, which, you know, it didn't bother me any. I try to take real good care of the trailer when I get home from fishing salt water. I spray everything down. So so far, you know, it's for 2 years. It's gonna take longer for a galvanized steel trailer to you know, rust out, but so far it's been holding up real well. Yeah, I had a couple of people ask about what the dimensions were for the trailer, so maybe this will help out. And I did have it sticking out. The transom was sitting out far this way, I think up to the back of the bunks. I don't know why I had it like that, but I recently moved it forward and it seems to sit a lot better, and the straps were rubbing the side of the hole, and you know, I just need to add some paint on there and it should be good. Otherwise, that's the trailer. Alright guys, hope that helps. Take it easy.